And it's uploaded. Man, I really do hope Fox improves their coverage. I mean, it can't get any worse, right? Right? You know, nobody likes to repeat themselves, but in this case, I feel like the fish off of SpongeBob that always likes to start shit because I have to constantly repeat myself of how piss poor of a job Fox has done with their broadcast. How many times do we have to continue to express how bad you guys are before y'all finally realize that y'all have to get it together? The last time I ragged on Fox was in 2023, and I remember during that time, I thought they couldn't get any worse, but oh my god, they said, alright, bet. It feels like Fox has us in a fucking submission and won't let go. NASCAR signed a new TV deal recently, and guess who's on the ride with us all the way to 2031? I hate this network. It almost feels like we're being trolled at this point. They on some Practical Jokers shit. Hey, go to commercial with 7 laps to go in the Talladega race. Hey, zoom the fuck in. Just zoom in like crazy. The last time I made a video about NASCAR on Fox, I just dumped all over them, which I don't regret. But that's all I was doing throughout the video, and as much love as that video got, which by the way, I really appreciate so much, there were people that made comments talking about, you're just complaining, how about you offer solutions instead of crying, blah blah blah. Well, alright then, bitch, that's what I plan on doing in this video. I mean, I did suggest a few things I'd like to see done differently, but I guess that wasn't enough. Fox is currently at an F, and I wish someone would try to debate with me that they deserve a higher grade. Hey, I think Fox deserves a C, and my reasoning. Anyway, they're doing awful, and throughout the video, I'll list a bunch of things that can improve their broadcast to at least a B-. So let's get it. Get Jamie Little out of the fucking booth. What are we doing? Leaving her in this role for as long as they have is even more mind-boggling than when they had Vince Welch in that role. Which, by the way, I'll take him back in a heartbeat. I don't remember muting my TV when Vince was calling races, but that's how irritated I get when I hear Jamie Little do play-by-play along with her NASCAR ass-kissing partner Michael Waltrip. There's no genuine enthusiasm, too many jokes trying to be told, and just no chemistry at all. They constantly miss things, and I think a reason for that is because they're at the Charlotte studios. I say that, but I look at the guys over at CW, they call races from the studio and they do a fine job for the most part. So I can't even say that's an excuse. Every week you're cringing so hard because of how awful this shit is. Who's making these decisions? Is this person deaf? How can you listen to Jamie Little in the booth and justify that she belongs in that role? She has no idea what's going on most of the time, brings up shit that nobody cares about, and she just doesn't have the voice for it. I thought we had it bad when Vince Welch was calling races, but man, my TV goes on mute immediately as soon as I turn on a truck broadcast. Her legacy is being ruined by keeping her in the booth. Instead of being remembered as an excellent pit road reporter, she's going to be remembered as a horrible play-by-play announcer, and I don't want that to be the case for her, so please, just end this experiment. It's not just Jamie Little that's the problem, the entire booth is horrible. I'm so tired of Michael Waltrip as well. He's not a good commentator, he never was. Get his Daniel Dye, Tim Duggar loving ass up out of here. Give him the Rutledge Wood treatment. NBC had this dude on their broadcast at the track, and then he was in random locations all of a sudden, and then next thing you know, he was gone from the coverage completely, which was a plus because he didn't bring anything to the broadcast. It's the same thing with Michael Waltrip. I really do believe he comes onto the broadcast drunk sometimes. He be saying some off the wall shit, and it just makes you wonder, is this dude even sober? He serves no purpose. Fox needs to quit stalling already and just put Eric Brandon in the truck booth. He's right here, he's right here, he's right fucking here, and they just refuse to make a very easy decision. He's very much qualified for that position. I want Eric Brandon to be the play-by-play guy for the Cup Series, hopefully by 2028. So plug him into trucks and let him continue to hone his skills. As for analysts, Phil Parsons is coming back home to the Truck Series. I don't know why they got rid of the only bright spot regarding the commentators in trucks. Plus, Eric Brandon has worked with Phil Parsons before, calling the ARCA races together, and they got pretty good chemistry. And to complete the booth, I'm going to throw out two names, the first being Kurt Busch. He's done commentary before and has done a fantastic job. The other choice is Todd Bodine. He's another that's been in the booth on multiple occasions, and even though he's very average at it, he'll be an upgrade over Michael Waltrip. Not to mention, the dude is a Truck Series champion and the trucks haven't really changed that much since he's driven them, so he'll definitely bring some good insight. I just find it very difficult to get invested in truck races right now for a multitude of reasons, but part of that is because of the commentators. The coverage in general is ass, and trust me, I'll tackle production later in the video. The Truck Series needs a revamp. Ram is coming into the series in 2026, so that's a bright spot, but it would be really nice if Fox can improve their coverage. Overhauling the booth is a big first step. Let's move over to the Cup Series, and before I get to the commentators in that series, let me just say this. Get Chris Myers up out of here as pre-race host. Back in the day, I thought he was pretty alright in that role, but it's time to move on from him. Josh Sims should be his replacement. I've seen enough from him that makes him a great candidate for that position. Okay, now let's tackle the booth. I don't know what to think of Clint Boyer as a commentator. I feel like he's either too nonchalant and doesn't bring anything to the table at times, and then there's times where he's too energetic. There's no middle ground with him. Fox wants him to be DW 2.0 so badly. Yes, Clint is a character, that's actually who he is, but just like with Darrell Waltrip, Fox wants him to be over the top with the goofiness. Darrell Waltrip was great those first 10 years, but he started going overboard. With Clint, he's all over the place. He doesn't know what button to push when calling races, and I think that's because Fox is in his ear telling him who to be. Just let the man be himself. Clint is not a stone cold dummy. If you let him just do his thing, he can be a very solid commentator. Believe it or not, him and Kevin Harvick do not gel at all. Once again, it's the direction Fox wants to go with the broadcast. Nobody wants to hear Harvick constantly shit on Boyer's NASCAR career the entire broadcast. It feels awkward when it happens because I think it's forced. Speaking of force, I'm sick of Fox forcing Harvick to say Gen Z slang on the broadcast. It was funny the first time, but I started noticing he was saying modern day slang every damn week. And that's not him choosing to do that, it's the clowns in the truck because they think fans want to hear that shit. Fox wants it to be Comedy Central throughout the entire race. It's a damn circus. There's a race going on. Stop trying to tell these guys to be funny and have them cover the fucking race. When I look at Harvick being part of Fox, he just doesn't fit. He would honestly gel better with NBC. I'm honestly shocked he chose to go over there, especially after he had to yell at the producers to show the damn battle on the track during the Xfinity race. These motherfuckers was watching a car go down pit road and you got Logano and Blaney seeing the battle for themselves, but we couldn't see it. Just absolutely infuriating. I'll keep Clint in the booth if he can get his shit together. As for Harvick, he's informative, but I just don't think he's good at this. I don't see him doing this TV stuff that much longer, so I'll replace him and put a damn crew chief in there. Larry Mack is an option, but man, Larry is up there in age. I got someone else in mind, someone that's younger and has a little bit of experience behind the microphone, and that's Todd Gordon. If you don't know who Todd Gordon is, he used to be a crew chief. He won a championship with Joey Logano in 2018 and he retired a few years ago and is now doing work for MRN, and every now and then he'll pop up in some videos on NASCAR YouTube channel. I think he'll bring a lot to the table. It's not like he doesn't have any experience behind a microphone. He's very well spoken and knows his stuff. I think he'll be a great hire. Then there's Mike Joy. I think it's time for him to put the microphone down. So, remember I mentioned that I want to see Eric Brandon in the Cup booth by 2028? Okay, here's what Fox should do. 2026 he remains in the booth. Mike Joy's final year as play-by-play will be 2027, but it'll be part-time. Let him call his final Daytona 500 of course, and the last race before Fox signs off for the season. Him and Eric Brandon will split the races, and this is to get Eric comfortable calling Cup races and work with his future teammates in the booth, who will be Clint Boyer and Todd Gordon. Plus, I think Mike Joy could offer a lot of advice to the young commentator. It'll be a passer of the torch. Then in 2028, Eric Brandon goes full-time as a Cup commentator. It's time to shake things up in the booth for both series and make moves that will actually benefit your broadcast. So, the lineup for trucks for at least 2026 will be Eric Brandon, Phil Parsons, and either Kurt Busch or Tom Bodine. Either one I'll be fine with. You might be asking who calls the truck races when Eric Brandon starts calling the Cup races. That person will be Brent Stover, who is another good announcer. I don't think he's as good as Eric Brandon, but he's very solid. The 2028 Fox booth would consist of Eric Brandon, Ty Gordon, and Clint Boyer. This to me would get Fox out of the trenches when it comes to the people calling the races, because it's been very bad on both fronts for many years. I solved the problem with the booth, now it's time to address production.
Kevin Dunn, what the hell was that?
Can we zoom the fuck out please? What is with Fox's obsession with zooming in so goddamn close? They so zoomed in that if these cars were still running contingency logos, I'll be able to read each of them with ease. I would like to see them actually follow what the commentators are talking about on the track and not cut away from the action out of nowhere to show a kid sleeping in the stands or some Chase Elliott fan looking fried. Fox also can't seem to find the damn wrecks even at short tracks, which is pathetic. So here's some advice. Bring more cameras to the track. Stop being cheap. I want them to stop constantly going on board as well. That still hasn't changed. What also hasn't changed is the audio. The ambient sound is so low. We can hear the commentators more than anything. We can hear the crowd, the wind, none of that. And then these cars don't have that extra punch. When you go to a race, you can obviously hear that, but you can get that same experience somewhat at home too if the networks actually put effort into the sound. Every year when NBC comes back around, the fans notice a difference in a bunch of things, and one of those things is the audio. Amazon really outdid themselves in pretty much everything, but especially the audio. They actually placed a bunch of mics around the track and you can just hear more. It feels like you're at the racetrack, especially if you got a good soundbar and got that motherfucker cranked up. Speaking of crank it up, I said this the last time I ranted about Fox and I'm gonna say it again. Get rid of the spotter audio and crank it ups. This segment is all about hearing the roar of the race cars, but instead they mix in spotter audio and it ruins it. What's funny about this is that they actually had a crank it up recently where they purposely removed the spotter audio and instantly the fans were like, hey, that's what we've been waiting for. Why can't that be the norm? Fox winning awards for best audio is baffling to me. I feel like the picture quality isn't that good as well. Go watch a NASCAR race on Amazon or even NBC and then watch a race Fox broadcasted. Fox picture quality isn't on par with them. Can y'all please make it look like a modern day broadcast? Bring the quality up to 1080p, 60 frames, even though I would like to see 4K, but let's remember I'm trying to bring them to a B tier broadcast at least. I want to see the colors on the cars pop. I feel like when there's a ton of battles going on, they need to have double or even triple boxes. This will be very useful, especially for the duels at Daytona. Please stop with the constant camera cuts, it throws the commentators off. I'll never forget when Clint Boyer told the producers to stay on board with Ryan Blaney, and right after he said that, they leave his onboard and it got real quiet for a few seconds. And I can tell Clint most likely threw his arms in the air like, what the fuck, man? Fox loves to script their broadcasts, and I don't know why you would want to do that because you're covering a live event. Trying to fit a bunch of segments and all this other unnecessary shit that should be shown during the pre-race, by the way, can throw everything off when there's stuff happening on the track. I mean, I get it, it's live television, so everything isn't always going to go smoothly, but with Fox, it feels like it's more times than not where the broadcast goes off the rails. The vertical ticker, I'm still not a fan of it. My vote is the scrolling horizontal style, and they don't even have to put it at the top of the screen. The CW leaderboard is displayed at the bottom, and honestly, I don't have an issue with it. How about going with that style and have it scroll on the bottom? That would look cool. The complaint with the old school ticker is that it takes all day to scroll, and I get that, but at least you'll see the whole field every time it passes by, unlike the current one where it stays locked in the top 20 for a long ass time, and then they'll be like, oh yeah, let's show 21st on back. Maybe just speed it up as it scrolls by for those who don't have any patience, I don't know. I hate the music they use for practice and qualifying sessions. I'd rather them just use the OG Fox theme song and completely get rid of whatever that weak ass shit is. They had it for years, and I'm sorry, that doesn't get me excited for what I'm about to watch. I know it's not a huge deal, but I had to bring it up. I also hate how they don't go through the entire starting lineup. They may go through the first few rows and then dial someone up and have the rest of the starting grid scroll across the bottom. I feel like Fox isn't the only one that puts very little effort in this area, but of course, they're the worst at it. At least the rest of the TV partners go through the whole field. The CW has done the best job of any network because they actually showing who's driving what car, and that used to be the norm back in the day when you saw the starting grid. I feel like that would put them above mostly everyone else in this area at least, instead of going through the lineup and seeing fucking cartoon characters. Why? Why are we still doing this? Nobody isn't praising these horrible looking drawn out portraits of the 40 drivers that's about to do battle. How is it that INDYCAR on Fox can have real pictures of the drivers but not with NASCAR? Get rid of this shit. Or if you want to stick with the cartoon theme, at least show the cars in cartoon form instead of the drivers. I feel like that's a good compromise. I want less focus on the pre-race and put more emphasis towards post-race. We get about what, 7 minutes of post-race coverage? That's pathetic. You got YouTubers like the Iceberg filling that void because Fox doesn't want to bother doing a proper post-race show. Can we get at least like 40 minutes of post-race coverage? Is that too much to ask? Also, could they not go right to commercial when the checker flag waves? The fans want to see the burnout or whatever the driver is going to do to celebrate. And the last thing on the laundry list of issues this network has is just the vibe of the broadcast. It's way too much on the silly side. Yes, NASCAR on Fox has always been notorious for being pretty goofy. Go back and watch their broadcasts from the 2000s and you'll see that it was present even then. But now I feel like they try way too hard to be funny. I'm pretty sure y'all met someone during your life that thinks they are the funniest motherfucker alive, but really, they aren't. And that's NASCAR on Fox nowadays. And it's not like I don't want them to come off pretty humorous at times, but there's a fucking race going on. Telling Harvick to say Gen Z slang and having these cringy ass segments is not what I tune in to hear. Talk about what we're seeing on track. If there's nothing happening on track, talk about a storyline involving a driver or team or something that's going on in the sport at the moment. There's so much to talk about instead of acting like you on Comedy Central. It doesn't even feel like I'm watching a race. These are 40 warriors climbing into race cars that are traveling at high speeds every week, something that not many people have the guts to do, and they don't treat them as such. These drivers are badasses and Fox needs to sell them as that. If Fox isn't going to get out of their own way doing this TV contract, they need to get the fuck on somewhere after 2031. They find ways every year to make their broadcast even more unbearable, and do you really think NASCAR is going to step in? Hell no, because they took the money and ran. In their eyes, Fox can do whatever the fuck they want while NASCAR sits back and count their money, and we, the fans, have to suffer. They just suck in general. It's not just NASCAR where they embarrass themselves. They cover INDYCAR now, and their coverage for that series is about a C-. I heard they botched the 2025 Indy 500, and thankfully I didn't have to endure that because hey, I was at that race. They dropping the ball with their football coverage as well, but it hasn't gotten too ugly yet. This is just a Fox problem. I'm sure they hear the noise, but they think it's a small group of people ripping them apart when in reality, it's everyone. There's people in the NASCAR industry that have called out Fox for their weak ass coverage. We deserve better, but will we get it? Well, they're not showing any signs of improving, but if it's anyone from Fox that's watching this video, me and other fans don't mean any harm. It's constructive criticism. I don't think y'all should get offended because we want y'all to be better. People can end up being happy when you actually provide them with actual good stuff. Look at the praise Amazon Prime gets. I'm not saying get on their level, but shit, if I was running things at Fox, I would be striving to get to that level. But yeah, these are my suggestions to get Fox to that B tier level. I would sit here and ask what do y'all want to see improve, but some of y'all have waved the white flag with Fox, people hoping that they get brought out and y'all think it's going to be no improvements at all, and trust me, I feel y'all on that. I don't blame y'all for thinking that way at this point. I probably just wasted my time making another video talking about Fox. Anyway, that's going to be it from me. I'm going to go ahead and roll up out of here. Y'all have a good one. Peace.